Hello and welcome to Friday's second edition of Cracking the Cryptic. Second edition because there was a crossword puzzle earlier. So if you enjoy cryptic crosswords, you might like to have a look at that. We're going to have a look, though, in this video at a puzzle called It Takes Two by ChinStrap and Calvinball. And we have had a lot of recommendations to try this. It features a rule I've never seen before called touching twos, where any cell that is orthogonally adjacent to a cell containing the digit 2 is deemed to have a value of 2 for the purposes of the puzzle. It's a fascinating idea. And apparently this is really wonderful, so I'm looking forward to having a go at it. A couple of the emails we had about this were just, well, let me tell you, fulsome. I found it on Logic Masters Germany. It's got 3 stars out of 5 for difficulty, so hopefully not too monstrous. And I'll read you the rules properly in a moment or two's time. We are in halcyon days, though, in terms of variant Sudoku. I really recommend that you all have a look at yesterday's video and the puzzle by Viking Prime therein, based off this internet meme about the immortal assassin snail. If nothing else, it'll just make you laugh. It made me laugh, and the puzzle's brilliant, but the concept and the fact that there is that this is even a thing about people accepting $10 million in return for being hunted forever by an immortal snail is just it's so surreal and sort of Monty Python. I mean, if Monty Python had done a sketch on this, it would have been a classic, wouldn't it? Anyway, that's by the by. Do have a look at yesterday's puzzle. Honestly, you'll enjoy it. What else can I tell you about? Oh, we've forgotten, haven't we, to draw the winner of May's competition. So apologies. I will try and do that tomorrow and try and remember. The reason I've forgotten it, though, is there are quite a lot of things I did want to talk about in this video. So let me look at my list. We had an absolutely wonderful email today that was really touching. It was from Ron and Jacqueline, if I'm remembering rightly, and it was from the Netherlands. And I'll read you some of it. It was about today, the 23rd of May, asking whether I might sort of devote a moment or two of the video to talking about, well, the memory of Arthur Stern, who was born on this day in the year 1922 and now I'm going to get the pronunciation wrong, so forgive me. I'm going to go for Ironton. It's like iron and ton, but it's an American spelling because it's in Ohio in America, so I think it might be Ironton. And Arthur graduated from Ironton High School in 1942, after which he joined the Air Corps of the U.S. Army Reserve in Charleston, West Virginia on the 21st of July 1942, and he served as a pilot in the U.S. Army Air Forces during World War II. And tragically, as so many, he was killed in action on March the 27th, 1945, when he was only 22 years old, during the very final stages of the war in Europe. He was flying a B-17 and I think collided with another airplane trying to avoid enemy fire. And he now rests at the Netherlands American Cemetery in Margraten, maybe, where I know a lot of American soldiers are buried and commemorated. And something I never knew, but I thought was incredibly poignant, is apparently what makes Margraten special is that every grave and every name on the walls of the missing has been adopted by a Dutch family, a tradition dating back to 1945, and these adoptions are often passed on from generation to generation. So Jacqueline and Ron have the honour of being the adoptees of Arthur's grave, and they visit it regularly, care for his memorial, and strive to keep his memory alive. Not only as a soldier, but as a young man with a story and a family and a future that was never lived. And they wondered if I could mention this today, and of course I have. And I'm just incredibly touched by it, and the thought, I really am drawn to the idea of the local people in Margareton sort of adopting one of these names. That is incredibly poignant. And Ron and Jacqueline did mention that if anybody watching this video hears the name Arthur Stern and it means something to somebody, maybe a relative or a friend, then please drop us an email and we can put you in touch. They're certainly very, very keen to hear that. But I thought that, you know, this is a troubled world, isn't it? And maybe a story like that will make everybody think. And yeah, thank you so much to Ron and Jacqueline for writing in with that a pretty startling message. Now, I've also got birthdays to do today, so let's put that head on. Switch heads. Right, there we go. Aaron. Or Aaron. It's Aaron and Aaron. It's one of those names that could be pronounced either way, but your girlfriend Holly Rose wrote to us and told us that you do enjoy the channel, and could we wish you a happy birthday today? I certainly can. Many happy returns. I hope, Aaron, that you get some chocolate cake. Gosh, actually, we did have another incredibly poignant email from Kirsten, who, amongst other things, mentioned that she likes the fact that she hears sentences on Cracking the Cryptic that could only appear on Cracking the Cryptic, and that's so true. And Kirsten, I was sorry to hear your father's been so unwell. I wish you all the best, and I hope that today you have an absolutely brilliant birthday with heavily iced chocolate cake, of course. And then last birthday is Sarah, who's turned 24 today. And Sarah, I know it's your birthday because your partner Connor wrote to us. Actually, it's not your birthday today, is it? It was on Wednesday. Yeah, now this is partly my fault and partly someone else's fault as to why I didn't wish you a happy birthday then. But I know that the two of you are on a road trip where you're going from Hampshire in the UK to York and back again, visiting National Trust sites. Well, that should be lovely. And Sarah, I will tell you that Connor said you are the Sudoku mastermind of the two of you. So that must always be good to hear. Happy birthday, Sarah. And then finally, something a little bit frivolous to finish the announcements. Darcy wrote to us. Now, I know he wrote to us, he's been messing about with AI art, which I know is a topic that is a bit controversial, but I hope you'll forgive me showing you what Darcy has created, because it did make me laugh. So I'll start off with this one, which is a picture of me. So it's some sort of tarot app. I mean, admittedly, it doesn't really look like me, but never mind. It's a very nice sentiment, and it's a miracle. That does look like the actual orientation of the Miracle Sudokus. I don't know how you achieve this. but it's the other one I've got to show you, because I mean, the likeness, Mark's likeness in one of these tarots is uncanny. It's uncanny. Here we go. Here we go. I can't tell you how pleased Mark is with this picture. The star. There we go. That I know where you've got that sort of clothing from. It is weird the way it can suck the clothing out of a photograph. But anyway, there we go. That is Mark's tarot card. I don't know what it means, but Darcy, it did amuse me, and it sort of amused Mark. But thank you for sending it in. I think that's all the news. I think it is. Should we do some solving? Yes, let's do some solving. It Takes Two by ChinStrap and Calvinball. The rules are as follows. We've got normal Sudoku rules applying, so we've got to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Touching twos. Any cell that is orthogonally adjacent to a 2. So let's make that square a 2. Orthogonally adjacent to a cell containing a 2 also has the value of 2. So all of those cells, orthogonally adjacent just means shares an edge with. So this cell is not orthogonally adjacent to this 2 because it's only diagonally touching it. These green ones are the ones we should look at, and all of those would have to have the value of 2 for the purposes of the puzzle. And then killer cages, values in a cage sum to the value in the top left corner. I mean, and you can instantly see there's some absolute nonsense here. This enormous cage apparently contains values that sum to 17. I mean, there are many, many impossibilities I'm immediately seeing. So this funny 2 rule is going to do some damage. Digits may not repeat in a cage, but values may. Nabner lines, okay. Values on a yellow line may not be the same or consecutive with any other value on the line. So we're going to have to remember, again, it's values that we're looking at. Let's ignore the 2 rule for a moment and make this square a 3. Ignoring the 2 rule, these digits could not be 2 or 4, or obviously 3, but they couldn't be 2 or 4 because 2 and 4 are consecutive with 3, and that would break the rules of the Nabner line. And they are... Yep, I can't scroll anymore. They're all the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now, I get to play. Let's get cracking. I mean, instantly, things I'm seeing that don't look right at all. Actually, I've seen another thing that doesn't look right. That cage looks impossible. This cage looks impossible. This cage looks utterly impossible. Because you can't, you know, the triangular number for 5... i.e. if we populated this 13 cage with 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, which is the least we could put into it, ignoring the 2's rule, it would add up to 15, but it's only meant to add up to 13. Triangular number for 4 is 10, but those cells somehow add up to 8. How many cells is this? This has got 9 cells. Well, the triangular number for 9 is a secret. I can't possibly share it with you, except that you're all my favourite people if you're watching this video, so I will share it with you. And the triangular number for 9, which is the secret of Sudoku, because it's the sum of any complete row, any complete column, or any complete box, is 45. So that should sum to 45, except the 2 rule is somehow going to bring it down to, yeah, 17. Actually, and the 2 rule really is going to do it, isn't it? Because we can't repeat a digit in a cage. So that 9-cell cage really does contain the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. And yet somehow lots and lots of them have to have the value of 2. I mean, that's absurd, actually. Hang on a minute. What's the average value? The average value is below 2. This is so ludicrous. The average value of a cell in this cage is beneath 2, because if it was 2, it would be 18, would be the total. But you can only put... You can put 1, 2 in the cage. And then everything else apart from... Yeah, you could have a 1, couldn't you? You could, yeah, okay, so you have a 1 in the cage, and then you can't, yeah, the rule set doesn't allow us to create 2 values of 1. The only thing you can do is create values of extra values of 2. So the only way to have an average of under 2 is to have a 1 in here and every other cell to have the value of 2. But doing that with only 1 cell that is a 2. Although I suppose, you know, if that was a 2, for example, it would convert, wouldn't it? It would sort of, it would be an apostle, and it would convert those 3 cells to being 2s. So you get 4 2s for the price of 1 2 in the grid. But you'd still have to... Oh, I see that. Oh, no, I don't really see, actually. Then you'd have to have lots of other 2s touching this cage in order to make it sufficiently low. Okay, I'm going to start somewhere else, because this I can do. A 5-cell Nabner line. Now, I don't think this can be... If we think... Yeah, this must be right. If we think about the digits 1 to 9, or the values 1 to 9 for that matter, which and it is values we're looking at, isn't it? Yeah. What we have to do here is to select 5 different values, none of which are repeats and none of which are consecutive with one another, from the digits 1 to 9. The only way is if they're all the odd numbers. There is no way of doing it other than that. So, I mean, do we label this as orange for odd, or do we label it sort of comprehensively? Yeah, you can't. If we were to introduce a 2 onto this line, there's no way, because then 1 and 3 can't be on the line, and the other 4 digits would be selected from 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and have to not be consecutive with one another, and that's absolutely impossible. And that we know that there's... Oh, okay. Hang on. Right, so one thing we might want to do with this puzzle is to label cells that can't be 2s. Yeah, because I can't have this Nabner line touched at all orthogonally by 2s, can I? Because if for example, if I made that a 2, it's going to convert. It's going to be an apostle converting all those 3 cells. If that's a 2, it converts that one. That's just not allowed. But there has to be something 2 related here. If that's a 2, no, if that's a 2, it doesn't work, because that would convert. That's sort of maximally converting that's converting everything in sight, and all of these would then have the value of 2, and the sum of the cage would be 10. So that is also green, right? So the 2 in box 1 is there, which means none of these can be a 2. That is what the rule means, isn't it? This can't be a 2 because that cage doesn't add up to 4. Yeah, okay, these are not 2 because they aren't. Yes. Oh, actually, maybe the Nabners is where to start. This is a very weird puzzle. You can't put 2 ever. Well, you can't put it on a sort of domino Nabner. You couldn't have a 2 there because it converts that immediately, and those 2 are obviously then the same value, which is not allowed. So we can instantly do all of these have to be not 2s. 2 in this column is right at the bottom now. So 2 in this box is in one of those 3 cells. Oh, I thought the 8 cage was going to have a... Ah, right. So now let's look at the 8 cage. Right, firstly let's make those green, because none of those are a 2. And let's think about how this 8 cage works. Because we know that it must be affected by a value adjustment, or at least one value adjustment. But actually, the value adjustment that would be caused by one of these being a 2 is it's going to introduce a 2 into this sort of Italy shape, isn't it? If that's a 2, it makes that a 2. But it doesn't, because we can't have 2 2s, you know, you can't put a 2 there and then a 2 there in the box. The effect of making this a 2 isn't really affecting the problem, which is that those, in theory, would have a minimum value then of 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, you could make, if you put that as a 2, you could make that a 9, and yes, it's hugely reducing the apparent value of this cage, but it's not reducing it enough, because if I still minimize it with 1, 2, 3, 4, because this becomes a 2 and this is a 1, 3, 4 triple, it still values it at 10. So what we're actually learning, I think, is that that is a 2. And that will do it. Because if that's a 2, now this cell has a value of 2. One of these two has a value of 2, which means there are 2 cells in this 8 cage now that have a value collectively of 4. So the other 2 cells have a value of 4 in order to get to 8, and they are 1 and 3. So these squares have to include 1 and 3. And then some other digit that's going to get converted to being a 2. Oh, this pencil marking is doing my head in now, because now it makes it look like that's a 2. Maybe we have to have a colour for cells that are actually that's how to do it. That's how to do it. We'll have a colour for this, meaning its value is 2, but it can't actually be a 2, obviously. Yes, the same is true here. In fact, the same is true for all of those. All of those now have a value of 2. And one of these has a value of 2. Depending on which one of these is a 2. Ah, this is really clever. Right, this blue one, has a value of 2 because it's next to a 2. So if this was a 2, that would make that blue, and both of those would have a value of 2, and that would be well, it would be the same digits on the Nabner. So that is not a 2. This is a 2. That's got a value of 2. So, okay, value of 2, so it's a blue digit. These now have to be the 1-3 pair in the 8 cage. They are natural digits. These all have a value of 2. Do I give these a separate colour then? I'm unsure. This is not a 1 or a 3. And one of those is a 2. Okay, if that was a 2 in the corner, both of those would be converted. So they would have a value of 4. And these 3 squares would have to have a value of 9. They would have to be they would have to be 1, 3, 5. I wonder for a moment if they couldn't be because of the Nabner. The same is true there. Obviously, that's affecting those same. Well, it's not those two, it's those two, but it has the same effect on this sort of X pentomino. Now, if that's a 2, right. So if this one's a 2, it's still the same. It still converts exactly 2 cells of the X pentomino. So whichever one of these is a 2, it converts 2 of the cells in the X pentomino to have a value of 2. So the other 3 have a value of 9 without using a 2, which is 1, 3, 5. It can't be 2, 3, 4, can't be 1, 2, 6. Now, so that digit. Yes, so this digit here needs to have a genuine value, like a green value in this box. So it can never go here, because this one either is 2 or it's converted to being a 2. So that digit goes there. And that digit needs to have a real value in here. So that digit goes in one of those cells, which means it's in one of those 3 cells. If it's here, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because it gets converted. Hang on. We've got a 25 cage here that has 2 conversions in it. So the other 3 digits, these 3 digits add up to 21, which is, well, there are 3 ways of doing that: 6, 7, 8, 5, 7, 9, 4, 8, 9. So we don't, yeah, there's no commonality. We don't have to have a 9, for example, because 6, 7, 8 would work. Okay, but right, these squares have to include 1, 3, and, well, they have to include whatever this isn't, plus a 5, don't they? So these are not 5. Oh, hang on. No, it's better. These are not 1, 3, or 5. So these are 7 and 9. These are 1, 3, and 5. Where's the 2 in box 2? Oh, goodness me! Right, this rule set's really interesting. It doesn't work the way you think it will at all. Where's the 2 in box 2? It's there. I don't know. Well, it's in one of those cells, but because it can't touch this Nabner, because it will convert it. And it mustn't be an apostle in that way. So that means... Well, what does that mean? This 17 cage is weird. It means that... It means these 3 digits... they either count as a 1, that's one possibility, or they're converted to being 2. Because they can't actually be 2. I want to say that's got to be a 2. That would convert all 3 of those. But it wouldn't convert that one. So that would have to be a 1. But... okay, hang on, let me think about this. So none of these are a 2. You can't put a 2 in the 12 cage. No, yeah, okay, that's obvious. Yeah, you can't put a 2 in the 12 cage, because if you do, the other digit adds up to 2 as well, and then the total for the cage would be 4. So, you can't put a 2 in any of those. You can't put a 2 in there, because you've already got the 2 in the 17 cage. Now... yeah, it's not possible. Right, I've got it. Okay. We need to do some converting here. Some urgent converting. Because no more than one of those cells can count, i.e. can be a genuine digit in this cage. The only digit that's genuine in the 17 cage is the 1, wherever it goes. So at least 2 of those cells are converted. Well, how are we going to convert 2 of them? You could convert... actually, hang on. I have had another thought. You might be able to do it with a 2 here, a 2 here, no, that doesn't work. Right, goodness. Actually, this is quite difficult. Okay, well, here I'm going to propose something. It is not possible to convert all 3 of those. Even if you put the 2 here, you can't convert all 3 of them, because this one wouldn't get converted. If you convert this one, or if that's a 2, you can convert this one, and you could convert this one by having the 2 here, but you could never convert that one. So there is a 1 in one of these, and therefore every single other cell in this 17 cage gets converted, including, for example, that one. How does that get converted? The only way that can get converted, because you can't repeat 2 in the cage, a 2 here won't see it, is if that is a 2. So that is a 2, that converts those. Oh, I don't know if that's going to convert enough, actually. Oh, no, it doesn't. What about that one? Oh, okay, but that one, that one can be converted by a 2 here. So that converts all those. This... Oh, yeah, that's lovely. Right. Now we're cooking with gas, because the way to convert this one, which does need converting, is with this one. So this is a 2. All 3 of those get converted. The 1 must not be obscured by the 2. This must be the 1. And now we've done it. This 17 cage consists, it's only got 1 2 in it, but it's got every single cell other than this one and this one are converted to be 2s. This is a lovely puzzle. That is a 2 by Sudoku, so that gets converted. And these 2 get converted, but they're not in a cage. So this one is not 1, 3 or 5, because the 1, 3 and 5 need to count. So these are 1, 3 and 5. The 5 is definitely in those cells. There's a 1, 3, 5 triple in this column. There's a 2 in one of those. There's probably a reason we can't put... yeah, there is. We can't put 2 there because it would convert this one. And that would make that have the same 2 blue digits on it. So that's a converter. Not a catalytic converter, but a converter. One of those is a 2. One of these is a 2. Well... Not that one, because that's going to make both of those on the Nabner a 2. So that's a 2, that's a 2, and I think all your 2s belong to us. There we go. So now we can convert everything that's orthogonally adjacent to the 2s we've put in the grid. Everything else is then natural. A lot of natural stuff in the bottom of the grid. And therefore... Okay, now we're going to get stuck, are we? But that's okay, though we still made reasonable progress. These are not 2s, so let's tidy up our pencil mark. This is a 1, so this is a 3, and that must be a 5 then. So we can do a little bit more tidying up. This is now a 3. That's a 1 in the corner. No song for you. 3 is in one of those cells. Can that be a 3? No. Because we worked out, didn't we? Those had to add to 21. So that's not going to work. Because these 2 can't add up to 18. Double 9 is not permissible from a Sudoku perspective. Okay, and what do we need to put into box 1 to finish it? 4, 6, 8. Lots of even digits. So they are 4, 6, and 8, all getting converted into... This is a bit of a religious experience, this puzzle. Oh, well, that's beautiful. Right. Okay, let's go to these squares. Now, we've just said those 3 add up to 21. How do they do that? Because they don't do it by being 6, 7 and 8. Because if they did, both of these digits would be a 4. And they don't do it by being 4, 8 and 9, because both of these digits would be a 6. So they do it by being 5, 7, 9. And that means... Oh, good grief. That doesn't mean anything, apparently. Well, I can see one thing there. That is, this little domino here is not a 7-9 pair. Because if it is, where would you put 7 and 9 in box 4? If this is a 7-9 pair, you'd have to put 7 and 9 here. And this cell would repeat in its own cage. So that's not going to be correct. It doesn't matter that its value would change. You're not allowed to repeat digits in a cage. So there is definitely a 5 down here, which means this is not a 5. it means that 5 is in one of those 3. Now, can we get it into the 9 cage? This is a genuine 9 cage. Ah, hang on. Well, it could be 4, 5, but it could be 1, 8. It's not 3, 6, and it's not 2, 7. If that's a 5, oh, it doesn't matter, does it? Because it gets converted to being a value of 2. Okay. I'm not seeing what to do now, sorry. If you're cross with me, I understand why, but I am trying to see things. Hang on. Oh, bobbins, I don't see what to do. 7, 9. So one of those is a 7 or a 9, but it doesn't really matter because it just gets converted for the purposes of the 8 cage. Is it obvious what I'm meant to do now? I don't know. What about... No, what I was about to say is absolute nonsense, so I refuse to say that. Oh, I'm so sorry, I don't know what to do. I haven't... Oh, I did notice first up, I didn't mention this at the time, but I could see those 6 cells were broken. Because the triangular number for 6 is 21, but these cells only add up to 20. Now actually, we've now done some converting, so that makes sense. In fact, we've got 2 conversions. So, does the secret help us? Seven, 9, 20. Oh no! Ah, nearly, nearly. Sorry, yes, and we talked already about the secret. So this row, in theory, sums to, well, it does contain digits that sum to 45, the Sudoku secret. But we know that we know only some of the values. Whatever the actual digit is that we put in there, those 2 digits must sum up to 7, mustn't they? Those 2... Oh, hang on. I thought I got 20 when I just did this. I'm getting less. Oh, this is exciting. Right. I think... Right, those 2 digits sum up to 7. Those 2 digits sum up to 9. That's 16. Plus 2 is 18. So that means the actual values of those 4 cells in row 6 is 27 to make the row add up. Right. Okay. Where is 1 in column 3? Oh, I've got hay fever today. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to sneeze now. Where's 1 in column 3? Because these digits here add up to 27, none of them can be 1. Because if they were 1, the other 3 would have to sum to 26. And the maximum 3 different digits sum to in Sudoku is 7, 8, 9, adding to 24. So, none of these cells here are 1. So where is 1 in this column? And the answer is in this little 9 cage. Oh, hang on. In there. Which is going to be good, because it's now going to place 5 in that column. Although that gets transformed into a 2. And actually, it's a good job it does. It's a good job it does, because otherwise these would be broken. 5 would be next to 4. Well, 5 is next to 4 or 6 on the Nabner. So if these were both normal digits, it would be broken. But because the 2 converts this one, it isn't broken. Now, So, okay. So 8 is in one of those cells. So this is not an 8. 8 is in one of these two cells. I don't see what to do again. Oh, well, hang on. This has become a 5. Now we set, that's good. It's good. We said those 4 had to add up to 27, didn't we? This is a 5, so these 3 have to add up to 22. Without using 5, there is only one way to do that. It's got to be 6, 7, 9. There are 2 ways of making 3 different Sudoku digits add up to 22. 5, 8, 9, which has been ruled out, and 6, 7, 9, which is what it must be. So this digit is not a 3, which places 3 in the column apparently. Oh, but this, yeah, it's still okay. We're still okay, because this digit sees this 5, 7, 9 triple, so that is 6. So that's 6. This is a 4, 8 pair. I'm sure we can do something with that. There's a 4 in one of those. Okay, these are no longer 6s. So these are 7 and 9, but we don't really care because they don't really matter for the purposes of their cage totals. These 2 digits have to add up to 7. So they are 3 and 4, aren't they? Which actually is resolved by this 1, 3 pair. So that's 3, that's 4. So these should be 1 and 8. And that doesn't actually seem to be resolved. So 3 is almost locked onto the bottom Nabner, which is not 5 cells, so it's got a little bit more flexibility than this one. And this Nabner, it's not got 1 or 2 or 8 on it. It's 3 cells, so if it didn't have 7 or 9, it would be from 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not enough. So it does have a 7 or a 9 on it, because you can't make 3 consecutive digits out of 3, 4, 5, and 6. It won't work. So it has got a 7 or a 9 on it. And then 1 of 3, 4, 1 of 5, 6. I don't know what to do with that. Oh no, come on, Simon. What about oh, I don't know. What? No, that doesn't work. I see. Right. Okay, what I should probably have focused on earlier is this cage. Now this cage has to contain all the Sudoku digits. So we can play geometry tricks, can't we? Where is that digit? In this box. So let's look at that. This digit here. Now it can't repeat in its own cage and it can't repeat in its own column. So it is the digit 1, 3 or 5, but it's not 1 because 1 has already appeared in this cage, and it's not 3, so it is 5. Which nearly puts the 5 on here. And here actually, down there. How does that not do anything? Oh, no. Right, better. Where's 3? Where's 3 in this 17 cage? This 3 is quite powerful, look. It goes poking through there. There's a 3 in one of those, so it's not in those 2. And it can't be here by Sudoku, so that's a 3. Goodness me. Right, so that's a 3. That's a 1. That's a 1. That's a 5. 5 is over here. The 12 cage is now restricted, but let's keep going with what we've just learnt. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to do 12 cage. I can't see anything over that side. The 12 cage is not 3-9, and it doesn't have 5 in it, so it's not 5-7. So that's 4-8. So there's a 4-8 pair in the top row, and the digits we haven't put in are 7, 6, and 9. So that's probably interesting. This digit, oh, it doesn't work. I was going to say that digit in this box, that digit there, let's give it its own colour. We'll make it red. It has to be in one of those two, doesn't it? Because of Sudoku. It can't go in its own row, it can't go in its own cage, and it's not equal to 2 by Sudoku in this box. So it is 4 or 8. And unfortunately, I don't think we know which. It's, oh, I don't know actually. Hang on. I think it's going to be, what do I actually think it's going to be? Ah, hang on. If that's 4, 8, I get an 8 here and a 1 here. So I've nearly got so many digits onto this bottom Nabner. There's an 8 in one of those two cells. Is that interesting? It probably is. I don't quite know how though. No, 3 is really, no, it's not actually. 3 is in one of 2 places. This Nabner, I sense this wants to be helpful, but unfortunately it's being a bit too shy. What about... no, that doesn't work. Okay, let's try this row. 4, 6... No, 4, 7, 8, 9. Let's quickly label it up and see if we can see anything intelligent. I mean, that's not an 8. That's not the most brilliant deduction. Oh, actually, hang on. That is a 7 or a 9 now. Oh, right, yeah, that's good. That's good. This digit has to find a home in this box. Where does it go? The answer is there. It's the only place it can go, because it can't repeat. Now I've got a 7, 9 pair in the top row, and this digit's a 6. That's beautiful. Now, but does it help? It puts a 6 in one of those two, 6 in one of these 3. We might want to colour the 7s and 9s at some point. That's not an impossible thought. Okay. So those are the same. Those 3 are the same. Let's just quickly label that up in case inspiration strikes. Can we see anything clever as a result of that? Is it this digit? Okay, that digit, yeah, is this cell, isn't it? And the reason for that, let's give this its own colour, is it can't be 1, 3 or 5 because they've already appeared in the cage, so it's none of those. It can't repeat in its own box, and it's not equal to the green digit because the green digit's already appeared in the cage, so it is equal to that digit, which is 4, 7, 8 or 9. So it's not 4 because this is a 4. So this is 7, 8 or 9. Now can we do any better here? I don't know. I don't know. No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to do. I'm sorry. Okay. Goodness. Oh, hang on. If that... look. We've got a 7, 9 pair. That's 8 then. That's huge. Right. Sorry, I didn't see this. Look at column 5. That is a 7 or a 9. That is a 7 or a 9. So that by Sudoku is 8. And that makes that 8 and this 4. And that makes this 8 and this 4. And all of a sudden, yeah, this is much better. This feels much better. So this digit is, oh, I see. This is a 7-9 pair. So yeah, maybe that is what we're meant to do. Let's quickly get rid of purple as a colour and red. I'm going to colour my 7s and 9s because those 3 are all the same. It sort of feels like that means that one's dark green. So it looks like it's trying to push dark green perhaps into this 15 cage. Not sure. Oh, okay, where's 8? Where's 8 here? If 8 goes into the 15 cage, these are 2 natural digits that add up to 7. Well, they can't be 1, 6, 2, 5 or 3, 4, so that's wrong. So the 8 must go here. 8 is in one of these. Oh, I see. Right. Look at the purple digit. That's also down here. So these are from 7, 8 and 9. One of them is purple by Sudoku. And now these... Sorry, there's a bit of a trampoline walk going on. I can't do anything about it. This now... So the green digit is here. I wonder if I know what that is somehow. Probably do somehow, don't I? Or do I know what that is? Oh yeah, I do. Okay, this has been available for ages. Look at the digits I've not yet placed in box 4. They are the 4, the 7 and the 9. Well, this can't be 7 or 9 because that's a triple in the 25 cage. So that has to be 4. This is 7 or 9. And I'm hoping that's going to allow me to continue my colouring expedition. Oh, actually, maybe it doesn't, actually. I know one of these is green. Okay, no, maybe it doesn't. Oh, but look, we've got an 8 here and a 1 here. So I can place 1 in box 5, which might be... Oh, nearly. Yeah, we're getting quite a lot of stuff in and around this yellow Nabner at the bottom, even if we can't do it. And in fact, those 3 digits there are a 1, 3, 6 triple. And that's not 3 and that's not 1. Is that good enough? Oh, this is lovely. Right, how can this be a 1? The answer is it can't be a 1 for a beauty. It's such a simple reason. If that's a 1, where's the 1 going in box 8? The answer is there on the same Nabner line. Isn't that glorious? So that's a 1, that's a 1. And now we've done all the 1s. They are finished. And there are no 1s on this 4-cell Nabner and no 2s. Well, surely then it's got to be... Am I going mad? I don't think I am. If there's no 1 on a 4-cell Nabner and there's no 2 on a 4-cell Nabner, then we're selecting 4 consecutive digits from the digits 3 to 9. It must be 3, 5, 7, 9, mustn't it? I think so. So that's got to be 3. That's 6. These have got to be 5, 7 and 9. It's probably resolved, but let's just put it in. 5, 7, 9. In this column we've not placed 4. So that should be a 4 if my logic is correct. That's a 4, that's a 6. One of these is green. We probably know which one, but I don't know how to tell. That digit, which has to not be on its own Nabner line. So where does it go in this box? It's got to be in one of those cells, doesn't it? So this cell can't be 5, and that is 7 or 9. And we know it's the purple, because it's the purple that's in there along with an 8. So that is the purple 7 or 9. Oh, which make... Oh, sorry, I didn't see. I've got a 7-9 pair in this column. Okay. What do you think we do now? These are 6, 7 and 9. One of them is green. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, nearly. Where's 4? In the box, it's in one of those 2 cells, in this bottom box here. If 4 is here, these add up to 11. And they could be 2. They couldn't be 2, 9, 3, 8 or 4, 7. So they'd have to be 5, 6, which is impossible because we can't put 6 into the cage. So that's not 4. This is 4. This is 4 by Sudoku. I feel like we must have done all the 4s, and we have. So what is the makeup of this cage then? Maybe we just use the secret. At least that's going to limit this digit, isn't it? Because we've got 15 there, plus another 15. That's 30. So these 2 digits have to add up to 15 to get us to the secret 45. Which means this can't be 7, because that would be an 8. So that has to be 9, this has to be 6. Which means these are not 9. These are 5, 7. So this is 8, 9. Which means this is 6, 7. And this is 9. And this is 9. So it's 7 for the green digits. 9 for the purple digits. This digit is no longer 9. This digit is 5 or 7. In fact, we know what this is now, do we? 3, 5, 7 is what it is. So this is 8 or 9 by Sudoku. I know this is finished now. My Sudoku ineptitude is causing me to pause for a moment. But forgive me. Maybe this line is actually necessary as well. 5, 6 and 9 up there. Let's put the options in. This isn't 6. This isn't 9. Whoops. And this column needs 3, 5, 6. So that's a naked single 6. That's huge because you can't now put 5 on the Nabner with it. So that's 5. That's 5. That's 7. Boom, boom, boom. If I could type, that's 3 in the corner, that's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. Right, so that's 5 now. Wow, what did I type there? Don't know, but not what I was trying to type. This is 5. This is 7. This is 9. Oh, I see. Okay, that's 5, that's 6. That's 6, that's 7, that's 7, that's 9. That's 9, 9, 8, 8, 7. And this hopefully doesn't contain repeated or consecutive digits. That's a 9. That looks great, doesn't it? So double click the 9s, make them all purple. Double click the 7s. Oh, I was trying to double click the 7s. I don't know why it won't let me. No, it doesn't seem to want to let me. Oh dear. Okay, so I'll go through the 7s manually and make those that we haven't got green. And that must be correct, mustn't it? It was such a beautiful puzzle. Really was. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. That is a sensationally clever and original idea. ChinStrap and Calvinball take a very considerable bow. We shall genuflect before you in this religious edition of Cracking the Cryptic that featured all sorts of conversions. Loved it. Let me know in the comments how you got on with the puzzle. We enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.